Have you noticed that with some couples, the man will talk about the woman in a very endearing way? Like, my woman, Amanda, she's doing all these projects, all this business about her paintings and etc. And I am so proud of her. Or that, my wife, Jessica, she really loves the kids. She really loves staying home and etc. Or that, my wife Anna, she's really this diva. Look at her, so beautiful, like a queen, etc., etc. And then you see the contrast of couples in which the man really doesn't, really talk in a very positive way about their woman. Like, my wife, Philippa, she is like so focused on her little things, her paintings. Maybe she earns a little bit of money about it, but that's it. But well, I have to let her do her things. Or that, my wife, it's so superficial. She's worried about all this makeup and materialistic things, and I have to support her and give her all these handbags, etc., etc. So probably all have seen these two kinds of couples in our lives at some point, even in movies, series, etc., etc. And I can tell you, I discovered what is one of the major keys as to why some men they want to provide support and take care of certain women, but these very same men might not feel as compelled to do so with other women. And then these other women, they might get certain men to actually take care of them and provide for them and support them. But then these same women cannot get other men to actually do the same, or at least with the same willingness and intensity and devotion. And this has a lot to do with what I call aligned or misaligned core values of a person. Meaning that if we have a partner that cannot truly appreciate or see the value in what we find as important, relevant, and of value in our lives, then there is a natural mismatch, and then therefore lack of emotional attunement in the relationship and from him. For example, if I am a woman who wants to be a stay-at-home wife because I truly value family, and I can see this even as my life purpose, then a man who can also have an aligned value, he would naturally appreciate that, and he wouldn't even need me to convince him to provide for me, take care of me, and support me and our kids, because naturally he sees that, this is my ideal woman, this stay-at-home wife. She really loves our kids, and I want to support her more for her desires and needs because that's for our common shared values. However, when a man is mismatched, and for example, he would love a woman who likes more freedom, traveling, and takes care of herself in the way that adorns herself like a diva, a queen every day, then he would be like, oh, why are you staying home so much? Why don't you take these 1,000 euros to, get a handbag, get some massage and all those things? Like, come on, let's, have a more better, more luxury and all those things. I want to satisfy you in this way. But then I cannot see the value of, you just staying at home and taking care of the kids and doing nothing. And, many men, they say that because they simply cannot understand what you are valuing and the devotion and effort you are putting in to be a housewife, let's say. So when there is a mismatch of values, and for example, if you're a woman who wants luxury, who wants to adorn yourself because you really want to elevate yourself and present yourself to the world in a certain way, because that's what you believe is valuable, then being with a man who cannot see this value, let's say that family man from the previous example, he might see it like, oh, why do you need this dress, these handbags? Why don't you stay more at home and dedicate more to our kids, and etc., etc. So naturally, he wouldn't feel so compelled to provide for you and to support your needs and desires because there is a mismatch of values. So in the personal development world and in social media, there is a lot of, learn all these tricks, learn all these feminine energy things so that you can seduce him, make him commit, make him want to provide for you, etc., etc. But this is actually a mismatch of understanding as to what really makes a man feel that they want to provide for you. Because if your values are fundamentally mismatched, then he wouldn't really feel compelled to invest in you, in support you, because he really doesn't see what you want and desire as something of relevance. So he doesn't want to invest in it. But when there's a matching of values, you don't really need all these tricks and things to actually convince or make him provide for you, because there is a natural alignment, and naturally all your desires and needs are already an invitation for him to invest in these values that you really share with each other already. So why do you still might need to learn then about relationships, about masculine and feminine polarity, feminine embodiment, is so that you can actually, instead of having misunderstandings, let's say that you have shared values, but you don't really know how to communicate it in a way that is inviting, and instead you communicate it in a way that is demanding, then you actually are creating friction. And for example, what if you are a woman who is so used to you achieving your own dreams, you providing for yourself, that you forget how it feels like to actually trust and receive and to surrender to life even? Then learning about feminine embodiment and learning relational skills can actually help you unblock the blockages, the masks, the armors, the defense mechanisms that you have that are actually hindering this natural process. Because when you learn about this, and for example, you learn why you or him needs the things that you need, these are the things that you desire, then how do you have more confidence, for example, to ask for what you need and desire, and in a way that is more inviting? Because sometimes we women, we had past relationships in which we expressed what we desired, but then the other person either was not emotionally attuned to us, and then they dismissed, or that they put in a defense because they might have some wounds on whenever you ask something. Then they feel that, oh, maybe I'm not enough, so I need to defend myself and convince her that I am actually enough. Then they, with all this, maybe you learn not to trust men so easily in their capacity to provide for you. Then when you learn about feminine embodiment, feminine inner work, you are actually unlearning many of the things, and then understanding where men and women come from and how to communicate in a way that fosters connection instead of more defensiveness and resistance. So understand this. Men often they feel compelled to provide for a woman, not because you learn all these tricks to seduce him, to attract him, but actually because he sees and feels subconsciously that there is alignment in inherent values, and he wants to invest in it because you are the expression of these shared values. Then he wants to really provide and support you with it. And this is the real, very important thing that many couples, they actually don't notice at all. And then you see these examples of men who talk about their women in an endearing way versus men who are actually talking about the things that their women care in a kind of borderline dismissive way. Like, I cannot really understand why she's into these kind of things and why she wouldn't put in more of her energy in other things. So understand this, and that you learn relational skills and feminine embodiment so that you can actually create even more space for emotional safety and emotional attunement, so that you don't have past traumas or blockages or potential misunderstandings getting in the way, and that you also know how to communicate in ways that helps the connection and comes across better between the masculine and the feminine. So if you want to know more about this, I have the Share Stream Girl course where I talk about the different feminine flavors that we have, the unique combination of it in each woman, and how it actually intoxicates a man and inspires a man to step up in relationships, and how the masculine and feminine polarity and attraction works in the relationship so that you can create more of that. And then I also have the art of feminine communication and influence course, in which I talk about how you can have better communication, because communication is not just about the choice of words, but how you are carrying yourself, like the energy, the quality of it when you are bringing it in the relationship, so that you can foster really more connection and inspiring him to meet you where you need to be met, instead of creating more of this. So yeah, check out these courses. And my name is Monica, and I'm the teacher of Blooming Feminine Academy. And I hope that these videos can help you have better and juicier relationships.